ChantelleCurrins, and I am going to be presenting my video presentation assignment. I've decided to name it Motivation, Emotion, and Why We Act the Way We Do. The video I picked is The Puzzle of Motivation by Dan Pink. It was released in 2009. In it, he talks about how people act in a social situation when they're given different kinds of rewards. Basically, it's about a work or school type setting where people respond to both external rewards like money or prizes and internal drives like doing something because it's interesting. I picked this video because it really shows how motivation can affect not only how well people do, but also how they act around others. I've noticed in my own life at home, with my husband Matt, or at work, that people react differently to rewards. So I wanted to understand why. Watching this made me think about how psychology can explain stuff we do and see every single day. For my course concept, I chose to do intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. So one big idea in motivation is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is when you do something just because you like it or that you think it's fun. You don't need anything else to get you going. The task itself is enough. Extrinsic motivation is when you do something to get a reward or to avoid punishment like money, grades, or praise. This helps explain why some people keep going with a task even when no one is watching, while others do it if there's only a reward. It's kind of like why some students love studying a subject just because they find it interesting, but others do it for a good grade. My course concept number 2 is emotion regulation and motivational states. Another concept is about how emotions affect motivation, which is called emotion regulation and motivational states. Emotion regulation means how we manage our feelings, like choosing to calm down or get excited. Motivational states are the feelings that push us to act, like wanting to succeed or being scared of failing. For example, if someone feels anxious about a test or a project, it can make them less willing to try new ideas. On the other hand, feeling proud or excited can make people more motivated or creative. So basically, our emotions kind of guide how motivated we are to do stuff, especially in social situations. For the application part of my video assignment, so in this video, Dan Pink talks about experiments where giving people more money for doing a task actually made them worse at creative stuff. People focused on the reward and forgot to enjoy the task itself. This makes sense if you're too worried about the reward. You get stressed and you don't do your best. You can also see how emotions play a role. People who feel pressure or anxiety because of big rewards may freeze up or make big mistakes, which is part of emotion regulation. Dan Pink also points out that things like having a choice, wanting to get better, and doing something meaningful can make people actually more motivated naturally. In social settings, like a team project, this matters a lot. Someone who's extrinsically motivated and feeling good can lift the group up, while someone who's stressed and only focused on the reward can bring everybody down. It kind of shows that motivation and emotion aren't just personal, they affect the people around us as well. For my personal reflection on all of this, so watching this video and thinking about these ideas has really taught me a lot. I realized that in my own life at work, with my husband, or even with our children, I usually rely on extrinsic rewards, like if you do this, you'll get that, without thinking whether people actually want to do that task. Knowing that intrinsic motivation is often better made me rethink a few things. I also noticed that emotions really affect people within how they act. If I'm stressed or pressuring someone, it can make everyone else feel stressed as well, which isn't very helpful. Going forward, I think I'm going to try to give people more of a choice, focus on the progress instead of just the results, and try to keep the emotional vibe just positive and happy. It's kind of simple, but it really makes sense and helps me see how psychology can be useful in not only my everyday life, but everyone else's as well. And thank you. That's the end.